And then on the 26th, we have a special Monday interview with Showtime Deshaun Watkins, the owner of Compania. Um, the 27th, we have Maddie the American Daddy. 28th, we have Uncle Money. The 5th of March, we have Casey Kazana. The 6th of March, we have Big Sam. And then the 13th of March, we have Jim Melancholy. A stacked couple of weeks for Wrestling Wit, to say the least. And we should have some other things coming up as well. I think we're done putting ourselves over, no? Scooter?
I think so. I mean, Kaliko has joined us, so.
Yes, he has. Uh,
Like a ninja.
and it was a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the news. And once again, AEW is in the news, and it's maybe not for.
James, you cut out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
AEW is once again in the news, and it's not for positive things, but once again negative.
Hookers.
Can you hear me?
No, I just said hookers and cocaine.
Will you stop it?
I thought that was NWA.
Wrong NWA.
What I was getting at was Sammy. If you watched Rampage, or going to watch Rampage, I don't know how when they record these shows anymore. Maybe it happened yet, maybe it hasn't. Who the fuck knows? Sammy Guevara wrestled Jeff Hardy in what appeared to be some type of hardcore match. Sammy Guevara did a shooting star press. Um, Maybe over rotated, maybe went the wrong way, and his knee went straight in Jeff Hardy's face. Which was a pretty nasty bump to say the least. They was able to finish the match, um, but things had to be improvised, and I'm not sure if he had a concussion, but he definitely broke his nose. Jeff Hardy did. Um, is this bad luck for Jeff Hardy or just incompetence on Sammy Guevara's part? Kaliko?
I mean, it looked like he just missed aimed it. I mean, but a knee to the face from that height ain't fun for nobody. I mean, everybody messes up, so I wouldn't kill him, but it's just part of the game. Everybody botches it every now and then. It's just a matter of
Don't let Chris Jericho hear you say that word.
Oh, I can't use wrestling words anymore.
Don't you find it more coincidental that the last time he majorly injured somebody was Matt Hardy?
He did fuck up Matt Hardy.
A couple of times.
Oh,
So should
maybe,
we call him the Hardy Killer?
well,
That's what Matt was
maybe,
calling him.
uh, maybe Jeff will come out looking better with a new nose.
Who knows?
I see what you did there.
Oh. People saying, Sammy. What are your thoughts on the matter, Scooter?
If people actually think Sammy was actually trying to injure Jeff, um, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you. Um, this shit happens, and it happens especially to the Hardys. Let's face it. They
Even
if they didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all. You gotta think that this is like almost a sign saying, you know, you're almost eligible for ARP. Give it up. As, you know, as is the case for a lot of the AEW roster.
You know, I get he's Jeff Hardy, he still wants to, wrestle, good on him for wanting to continue his career. But, you know, you could, he could totally extend the longevity in his career if he he stopped trying to be the Jeff Hardy of 20 years ago.
Stop being Team Extreme.
Right. Like, I mean, you could do that shit, every now and again, and I think a lot of people would pop for it if you did. But wasting a hardcore match on a show that really nobody is going to watch, it's a
AEW in a
waste.
nutshell.
It's a waste of Jeff Hardy. It's a waste of a hardcore match. And he's going to be out for a couple of weeks now because he broke his nose. It wasn't a main event. It wasn't. It was It was just a B show main event that nobody is going to watch. So was it really worth it in the end? You know what I mean?
Yep. That's it. That's the thing, is that, again, AEW, or rather Tony Khan, is trying too hard to make every match seem important on every show. And he still has not realized that there is a formula to booking. What are the two most popular matches on a show?
Excluding Global Deathmatch?
No. Not the type. Not a match type. The first match and the last match.
Okay, yeah.
Those are always the two. And back in the day, the match that was going on when half the show was over.
Right.
But now, really, the first match and the main event should have relatively equal weight in terms of importance. Like Dynamite, Texas Deathmatch. By the way, not a Texas Deathmatch. That was a last man standing match between Orange Cassidy and fucking Matt Taven. Maybe.
And Matt Taven had a Texas Deathmatch?
Oh, yep. And again, a traditional Texas Deathmatch happens with a pinfall and then a 10 count. Like Randy Savage and Crush at WrestleMania 10. And I think Billy Kidman and Hulk Hogan and during the WCW reboot. And again, that match had friggin' it looked like Orange Cassidy took a hatchet to the face. Thumbtacks. Unnecessary spots on thumbtacks. And, there wasn't even any punching in the wiener.
No wiener punches?
No wiener punches. Like, what a stupid kingdom. Like, God. And what they should be, making the most, important, thing is something. Guess what? Less and less fans are giving a shit. Aren't giving a shit about Sting's last match. Because what? Who's at the center of it? Not Sting.
The Young Bucks.
Yes, and of course, their hairlines once again know when to get the fuck out.
I think they put some of their hairline on their chin.
Yeah, like those fucking white suits. Like having the blood on them doesn't make them tough to me. It just shows me that they just don't do their laundry. Like, Sting's last match should never have been a tag team match. And yeah, we know Sting can't really go a traditional singles match anymore. Yet, which means this whole match is going to be Darby bumping, as always. And it's essentially it's not gonna mean anything in the long run. The Bucks don't they don't get a rub from it. They put reality into it, and it's still not as important.
Well, to all your points, would we have loved to see, Sting in one more one-on-one match? Absolutely. But, honestly, Sting knows what his body can and can't do at this point.
I don't care. He does what we ask of him.
Well, do you think that Ric Flair knew what his body was capable of when he had his last match?
Yes. And he was like, "Thanks, Viagra."
So,
see, that's what's keeping Ric Flair walking upright.
No, that and Woo.
What do you think? What do you think Woo is? Nothing but liquidated Viagra.
And magical mushrooms, apparently.
No, Red Bull in Viagra form. Viagra in a Red Bull form, rather.
I'm not necessarily mad at the match because it was Sting that put this all together. This is what Sting wants for his last match. So
is it though?
Apparently, I can't necessarily be mad at it. In my mind, Sting's last match was against Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, and then he never wrestled again. So to each their own. But
and then when Sting's daughter debuts, he'll be back for a mixed tag match with against God, I don't know. Let's just say Anna Jay for the hell of it, since it won't matter. And I guess the returning Sunny Kiss. Why not? Why the fuck not?
But I will say that, despite, criticism, the event is selling, has been selling a lot of tickets. Maybe one of the most successful shows that they've done in quite some time. So they do have that going for them. I'll give them
They're
that.
selling tickets, but tickets to what? We have no idea.
Well, Sting's last match. They're literally not selling anything else.
It's gonna it's gonna be like in 1990, No Holds Barred, the match, the movie. You went to go see No Holds Barred. Guess what? You got a steel cage match between Randy Savage and Zeus against Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Why have a Merry Christmas when you can have a No Holds Barred Christmas?
Maybe it was just a home video release.
Well, that brings us to, a little bit of interesting news. QT Marshall is back in
Yeah.
AEW, as vice president of creative and talent. Um, because clearly none of their talent
I
has
mean,
creativity.
and he just won a title on I believe it was in CCW.
QT.
Yeah, he won a title.
Well, as far as I know, and keep in mind I don't know everything. It's not in a wrestling capacity. It is only backstage. I'm sure if they told him to put the tights on, he would, but he's not going to be a character.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we need more QTV, don't we?
No, we don't.
I mean, I want to see another single by Harley Cameron featuring Harley Cameron.
What say you, Kaliko? What are your thoughts? Because QT left the company in January. I think January 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And February 17th, and he's back. Literally a month and a half later.
I mean, he's back. That's what he wanted. So, I mean, that's what we wanted for the guy. So, I think it was a power thing. He just felt like it wasn't going in a good direction. I mean, it just shows good business that they had a reconciliation. So, you can't really get too mad at it. The one person that they really kind of can't afford to lose as far as continuity wise is coming back. So that's good. Always a good thing. Always good for people to come back to the job that they really want to go back to.
But here's the thing, though. QT, it's been announced that he's returning, but it hasn't actually happened yet.
Right. There hasn't been like a statement.
Yeah, that's coming directly from 411 Mania, and that was only 6 hours ago.
No.
Gabby, whatever is that?
This is just
That's right.
how I'm looking at it. I'm a bit cynical. But is this less about QT Marshall and more about what QT Marshall has to offer? And that being the Nightmare Factory, having that connection with Cody Rhodes, and all of the people that is connected to the Nightmare Factory has a better chance of coming to AEW than WWE.
I think the WWE might have the same views on the Nightmare Factory that we do. That they don't need to do business with the Nightmare Factory. Um, hey, they're perfectly fine with their uh, JD Cargill to their QT Marshall, which, by the way, if you haven't guessed already, will be clearly be the sixth woman in the Elimination Chamber, and we'll get to that later. But great, QT, my grandmother. All right, God, I gotta. All right, Cthulhu.
Get to the point, Scooter.
QT sucks. Is that blunt enough for you?
Thank you.
Well, damn.
Is that blunt enough for RVD?
Ask him on 420.
I think I likes it a little bit thicker, his blunts.
I mean,
and his bitches.
okay, I mean, you know what? Tony Khan loves hookers and cocaine. There. I will say that once every show from now on.
I think he likes crying in the bathtub with Haagen-Dazs, but that's
Oh,
just me.
hi! I'm Tony Khan. I have a big announcement. Big business.
Well,
In fact, I think I just gave myself another brilliant idea.
now, another change to the front office of AEW. They're bringing Rocky Romero in. Rocky Romero has left New Japan Pro Wrestling, that company office job, to come over to AEW. Kaliko, Rocky's contributions to New Japan. I kind of feel like this is a big loss for New Japan now.
I mean, in the light heavyweight scene, yeah, or the juniors, but because he was kind of like a mentor for him in a sense. I mean, we wouldn't have Roppongi 3K without Rocky Romero or Roppongi Vice or Roppongi Vice. Oh, that's I mean, but yeah. I mean, but New Japan, I told you, I don't know. Tanahashi's the president. We're gonna see what he's gonna do to be the man now. Other than putting himself over. But I mean, he did it against 50-50. I will give him that. He did it against the right motherfucker. Because Zach Chambers Jr. is the one person you should be getting over. But anyways, um, but yeah, it's a big loss for them. But the problem is just like he's gonna be good as far as a wrestling psychology and a wrestling mind. I just wonder, is that gonna? It can he bring that lightweight cruiserweight mindset to the wrestling scene, or is he gonna have to check it at the door, as they say?
What's say, what's say you, Scooter?
I just hope this doesn't mean Mitch gets a job.
Please stop it.
I mean, if that happens, then I don't know. I think the apocalypse starts.
Well,
Uh, yeah. Rocky. Yeah, it's not the Rocky they wanted, but yeah, the Rocky they have to make do with.
I think it's a big dip for AEW. He contributed a lot to the New Japan dojo and New Japan America. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with all of those things going forward. But
I wish I was that hopeful. Still,
if the people of AEW, and I mean, Tony Khan and the talent actually listen to Rocky, and to a lesser degree, QT, things might actually turn around. Probably not, but
no.
you can only hope at this point.
You can you can hope in one hand and shit in the other, and see which gets spilled first.
Um, that's not gonna work for me.
You also
I'm
have to be very limber to do that too. So
hmm, probably Bronson Reed isn't. If you've listened to commentary on Monday.
uh,
Um, Speaking of Tony Khan, we've gone over his mean tweets over the last couple of months. Um, Finally, actually talked about it in an interview. And I have the whole quote right here from Tony Khan about his manic tweeting that he does. We've been able to promote the show and build engagement. Also, the company has a great presence. We have a great connection with the fans. We've been able to build real engagement at times. There is tangible proof of that in our huge TV ratings and the fact that three of the last 4 weeks, Dynamite has beat the NBA on ESPN straight up. We've had great success connecting with our fans. I think what we have going really, uh, I think what we have going works really well.
Now, this is the interview he did with Sports Grid when he was at the Super Bowl, I believe.
I don't exactly know the source.
And in the same interview, he talked about MJF and Britt Baker and gave very generic answers when he was really being asked about, so many AEW stars being injured.
Right.
God. And you really wonder why I keep saying Tony Khan loves cocaine. That man needs help.
Kaliko is treating nonsense good for promoting yourself.
Oh, what is? It's that thing where they say bad attention is better than no attention. I mean, the whole purpose of Twitter was to be accessible, I guess. But the thing is like, when is accessible too accessible, right?
Right.
Because the same way they get on like Kevin Durant for responding to every goddamn Instagram and tweet, like you could kind of get on. You know what I mean? Like, don't you got better shit to do?
Hey Siri,
But
remind me to shake down Kevin Durant for money.
I mean, Kevin
Right?
Durant had burner accounts. I mean,
Oh my
at
God!
least Tony's not
What
doing
the
that.
hell?
Location. You can say something like
Shut up!
5 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh God.
Oh my God! That was not
See?
coming from my phone. I
See?
don't know where that was coming from.
Oh no! See, the Feds watching, man. Better keep out.
I
Feds
have
taking
Siri.
pictures on.
I have Siri turned off.
Well,
You'll be fresh as hell. See, be fresh as hell when the Feds are watching. Anyways, um, but if that's the way he feels he can engage, I mean, let him do it. I mean, and as long as people, they're gonna have people who see that as positive, no matter what. So, I mean, ain't no sense of us bitching about it.
Yeah. Oh God, I have to get a screen capture of the thumbnail for this interview because it's Tony Khan in a nutshell, really. Uh, oh man.
Tony Khan could make a great politician. Everything he says is so positive, and yet every
It's
single word
bull.
is a lie.
uh,
Like,
Con 2028.
legitimately. Like, we've got real engagement at times. This is tangible proof of that, and our huge TV ratings, and the fact that they have not had great TV ratings. The ratings that they maintain and hold every week has gone down for Dynamite. I don't think Collision has recovered from the ratings that they lost from CM Punk, and and what's it called? Rampage is a show in the woods because literally nobody watches it. And we've Dynamite has beat the NBA on ESPN straight up. These are who actually in their right mind believes that?
I mean, is he talking about like inside the NBA or is he talking
No, he ain't no goddamn way he's talking about Inside the NBA
about?
because the Inside the NBA is the best television show on this fucking planet right now. Like, ain't nobody fucking with the inside the NBA is the number one television show on this earth, and no one can tell me no different.
Come on, let's get a shakaroni.
So my problem is that he's saying he's beating the NBA on ESPN when you can't even keep a follow from inside the NBA, which is the number one TV show on cable television
I didn't
when it
realize.
comes on.
I didn't realize friggin' the NBA actually had games anymore on ESPN.
Oh, they do, and that's the problem. But the problem is the games are like on a. They don't have basketball games on. Like Monday's like college, so I'm like, yeah, you're beating college kids. Is that what we're hooping at? Because Wednesdays are usually like in because it's all a family, right? ESPN, ABC, so they usually run it like Wednesdays, Fridays, and like the weekends now since football's over. But ain't no way they playing NBA on a Monday. Because ESPN has a ACC, Big 12, and all them cats. They play in college during those weeks.
Well,
I'm a hooper, so that's why I can
I mean,
watch five midgets hooping if I wanted to.
you're saying, they can't hold an audience with a following from inside the NBA. They can't hold a following from a following from The Big Bang Theory.
Or
A
stupid metrics.
literally a rerun of a show people probably seen a billion times gets a million views, but AEW drops to 8 million, I believe. Yeah, but somewhere along that lines. It's just, yeah, it's lies.
And what does a liar do after he's dead?
Lie some
This
more.
is a riddle. This is a riddle. And not a Matt riddle. He lies still.
Well, from one promoter, people question since
That's a good one. That's a good one. I give. Yeah, I give him that one. That was a good one.
uh, was good. Anyway, um, from one promoter that we dislike, a lot of people dislike, to a promoter that the talent actually loves.
Yeah.
The TNA talent actually wrote a letter to Anthem about the firing of Scott D'Amore. I read some of the letter, like it was a really long letter, and I just didn't want to, read all of the letter. It didn't necessarily seem like I wasn't exactly sure what they were getting at, and I'm not sure if you've read the letter.
I did. Um, I understood the crux of it.
Were they asking to get Scott
It
D'Amore's job
they
back?
were that it would be a jumping off point to getting him back, so that they could produce a better show for Anthem. It was the right. It's the right way to go about it. And if Anthem basically, just crumples it up and throws it away. I don't know how many. If you remember the whole, 2012, 2011, the whole vote of no confidence against Triple H.
Yeah.
That's what they could have, but they could have an actual one.
I mean, it
If
speaks
they
to the,
can,
like we said last week, it speaks to the human being that Scott D'Amore is. Talent going out of their way to try and get his job back. It's a nice uh, statement. But do you think that it would actually work?
well, someone is also another Impact lost another employee. Ironically, the one who Scott D'Amore replaced. Ed Nordholm, who was the president, for being replaced by D'Amore, and Nordholm was the one who pushed Anthem to make offers for CM Punk and Will Ospreay, which the company agreed to do at the time. But then when Ospreay got a better offer from AEW, they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself, Ed. And
I mean, Will Ospreay did do a couple shots for TNA. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Okada had some matches with TNA in the last couple of months.
Oh, yeah, and nobody watched them.
Nope.
Skanky had a rock show and nobody came.
Well, Kaliko, what are your thoughts? Could this actually bring them more back if they don't listen to what is going on Anthem? Could we see a mass, leaving of the company by some of these talents?
Well, can't happen now because Tommy Dreamer took his place,
I heard that
right?
wasn't true.
Yeah, Anthony Ciccone, still president of Impact. Tommy Dreamer, probably president of the spittoon in the back. That's what he's president of. And every now and again he drinks it. He's like, thanks, man. This is pretty good.
And then Edge and Christian just come out of nowhere and hits him with a slab of meat.
And then the Undertaker just kills him.
I don't think Undertaker would waste his time on Tommy Dreamer.
I mean, Booger Red would.
Well, anywho's back to the subject. Maybe I'm thinking maybe he could. I mean, was it like a petition? I mean, you can petition somebody to get their shit back, but the problem is they already gone.
Yeah.
You should have been petitioning when you heard it was coming.
Talent didn't know it was coming, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
See, that's crazy because we don't know if people. What I've heard is it's been in the works for a month.
I mean, with D'Amore pushing for, the company for Anthem to put more money into Impact. Again, this is it's WCW 1991. You might as well call Anthony Ciccone Jim Herd. Like, you know what? Let's put Moose in a hunchback suit. That's what the fans want to see.
Does Anthony CC1 have any wrestling experience?
He probably just has a problem wrestling with Mania. That's why he's bringing in a zombie apocalypse. And I'm sorry, I was singing Eminem. No, fuck no.
Okay. So I can understand where the talent wants somebody that understands where they are coming from, has a background in pro wrestling, then rather than some suit coming in saying happy to be here and calls, and then starts making Eddie Edwards the bellboy.
I mean, damn it, it's like the whole thing of sure, Of course, we'll absolutely take this into account. Thank you for coming. We value your input as an employee, and we'll see you again soon. Yeah, release the hounds. Release the hounds.
So, going on to
But I mean, either way, they ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, motherfucker.
probably
That
not.
motherfucker ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. You can send a letter from the president himself. He ain't coming back.
Are you talking about WWE Hall of Famer Donald or President Donald Trump?
Oh God.
I'm not going down that rabbit hole, sir.
Well,
Yeah. I get enough of that living in the same borough where he grew up.
what about the
I get
mayor?
enough of that in Cali. Man, you tripping. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
I had the opportunity to actually purchase his boyhood home. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like syphilis. I'll pass.
Well, going into some WWE news.
But the
Um,
person says Shane McMahon.
WWE and UFC announced that they would do 6 shows in 4 years at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Um, great? Question mark. I mean, WWE runs the Honda Center practically every year anyway. So what they're really announcing is that they won't be doing one show in for 1 year. No.
I mean, it probably means more for the UFC, I guess. Probably from a.
I mean, I did get offered, just through email to do. They're doing joint tickets where you get a ticket for WWE and UFC at the same arena. Um,
What? Where was that at?
yeah.
So shit. Got me
And
coughing shit up. Like, what the fuck was that email? I missed that bitch.
well, I personally, I'm not a UFC fan, so something like that doesn't necessarily relate to me. But would that does that relate to a large portion of, or any portion of the WWE fans that they're doing double tickets, Khalifa?
It would for me, but I think it's more or less they're trying to do it. And I think when they made that announcement, this was that perfect storm where they had a UFC Saturday followed by a WWE Monday. So I'm thinking they're gonna try to factor stuff in like that, like doing a um like let's say a WWE SmackDown Friday with a UFC Saturday. You see what I'm saying? They're
Right.
like mix and match of these combinations. So they're just basically announcing the fact that hey, the next time the UFC comes to Anaheim, it's going to be a WWE affair as well. Which for WWE they run Anaheim anyways, but for UFC it's a bit different because they're usually more. I mean, their schedule's more unorthodox. Uh, and then you're thinking, depending on who's fighting in Anaheim, that fight card. Um, so yeah, it's just a matter of the card that they build because WWE is going to be sold out no matter what. The UFC is going to be sold out dependent on the card because this card is it's okay for UFC, but it's not like John Jones and Daniel Cormier when they fought in Anaheim. That was like, yeah, we need to see that. Or not even like who was it, Nate Diaz versus I forgot who he fought last time. Uh yeah, bringing people who have that kind of following. So
You think that this would entice a WWE fan to maybe that isn't a UFC fan to get the combo ticket and see kind of where that leads them?
To be quite honest, if you're following WWE, you're cognizant of the UFC because the thing is that the UFC kind of has taken the page off WWE as far as who you want to call out, who you want to fight, and all this other shit, and like the post match shit. So you kind of are cognizant of it, and they kind of been blending it because Cain Velasquez was in WWE. They flirted with Cormier for a bit. They flirted with Connor for a bit. So
And they
even
all
though nothing has came over, and then not to mention Ronda Rousey and Matt Riddle was on Tough Enough. Oh, no, not Tough Enough. The Ultimate Fighter. So you see some lanes where people can kind of understand it, but I don't think I don't think the audiences are too their extremes are super different, but the middle casual kind of can understand both.
well, I would like to see a joint with the Ultimate Slap League, Slap Force, or whatever.
That's
The Ultimate Slapper that Dana White was doing. That was more entertaining than any UFC, man.
I didn't get to see it, but I really wanted to see it.
Oh, I mean, go on YouTube. They got some of the best highlights. And guess what? The main champion there is a Pacific Islander. Anyway, so it's either Samoan or Hawaiian again. So it's
I'm sure he's
another.
I'm sure he's related to The Rock.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
I say that as a joke, but it's probably true.
It's like he's related to everybody. I'm related to The Rock.
He
You're
has that
related to The Rock.
he
We're
has that
all related to The Rock.
he has that Genghis Khan blood in him.
Hey, I actually do. So I actually do have Genghis Khan DNA.
I mean, we probably all do. It's
Well, no, I am actually aside from the traditional things that make up my Jewish ancestry. Part of my ancestry actually is Mongolian.
hmm,
Yeah.
So you related to Rusev?
Like, like
he's Bulgarian.
Bulgaria
Yeah.
and Mongolia.
I know
Uh,
what I said. I
and
know what I said.
hey, it could have been Croatia. Which is one of the countries that tried to get into my Microsoft account today.
Hmm.
I mean, or it could be. I mean, you could be a con.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! Oh! Oh God! Where is my blade? I must fall on it.
Well, this
Trying to give myself a tattoo, and now I'm just gonna poke myself to death.
this was a news in the cracks for me the last couple of weeks, but I did want to bring it up. Um, Talking about somebody that wants to fall on their sword, Mick Foley. He mentioned on his
Excited about.
podcast or his show or somewhere that he's 58 right now. When he turns 60, he would like to have one last death match.
Oh God!
And he said that he'd like to do it against either John Moxley or Matt Cardona. Um, Mick, you're a legend. people love you. We don't need that question answered. Take a cue from Ric Flair. Maybe watch the match and just don't.
I
Scooter?
mean, the question is, who will die first in that ring from blood loss?
John Moxley might be
See,
dead by then.
a lot of people probably don't remember is that before he was Shield Dean Ambrose, he was showing up to signings with Mick Foley Dean Ambrose.
Right.
And
Mick couldn't get clear to do the match.
yeah, and you know what? Like, I know we talk a lot about it, and we do make we make our quips and everything, but one of the areas where I really get scared is the amount of bleeding in AEW. And now lately, Mox hasn't done a lot of that, thank God. But of course, going back to Swerve and Hangman, which, by the way, that's the reason Jericho blocked me, because I compared him having the Golden Shower match to Swerve and Hangman losing the total amount of blood lost in that match could fill one person, and they fucking walk it off. So, but you know what I'd be interested to see? Let them do a death match with no blood.
I mean, I feel like WWE's done that.
Like, just like, or like you rigged them with like squibs, and you bleed that way.
What say you, Kaliko? What are your thoughts on Mick Foley having one last death match when he turned 60?
Are they trying to like increase like that? Remember that Spike TV show, A Thousand Ways to Die?
Oh
Yes.
God!
Are they trying to find 1,000 more? Like, what is the hell is
I've
going
been
on?
looking for that on streaming. Oh,
Like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I mean, okay, all right. I mean,
Seth MacFarlane can make a new movie, A Million Ways to Die in the Ring.
I I will say this: it his 58 ain't is different than a whole different other bunch of wrestlers 58, because that boy 58 feels like it's 132 based on how his body takes.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between a New York 10 and a Utah 7.
Yep, an LA 6 and an Iowa 9. That's basic.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Like,
it's we don't have to. I would say I'm the person that's like, if once you out, just I can't tell you to get back in, but we would like to you be out because we want you to be here longer so you can tell these stories longer. Because that to me is what's going to carry the legacy. No one really is going to care. Like, no one's out here going, oh my God, Heartbreak Kid's last match or Bret Hart's last match. But they do care the fact that they're still kicking and like can actually have conversations with them.
yeah, except
And I
for that.
think that is,
Yeah,
I think that's a better impact more so than having a last match,
I mean,
which is what was disappointing about Ric Flair anyway. Because
yeah,
like, motherfucker, you survived death like too many times to be doing this bullshit.
like, yeah, like, yeah, we're still surprised you didn't change the course of wrestling history by retiring after a plane crash. Yeah, but again, I think we must remind people that if Bret Hart, even like does one bump or even does running exercises in the ring, he will fucking die. So, uh, so you know what? Let's just have another episode of Gunsmoke for Bret, and last matches for everybody else.
Keep in mind, his last match was the Royal Rumble in 2012. I think I agree with Kaliko. Just don't get back in the ring. It's okay. It's we don't need that question answered. Do you? Just don't do exploding barbed wire death matches anymore. You proved it. You're the legend.
Well,
Be a legend. Make it split strength.
wait, yeah, you said did you say Bret's last match was the 2012 Royal Rumble?
No, Mick.
Okay, yeah. I'm about to say, like, yeah, because,
Oddly enough, he did a match in 2011 where he teamed with Terry Funk to wrestle Bob Orton and Roddy Piper.
Wait, but
Hmm?
that was, okay. I keep forgetting, oh, shit, hold on, there we go. Shit, that was weird. My mic was off, but yet you could still hear me. Weird. Yeah, okay, it's still on. I keep forgetting Piper died in 2019. I think it was, I feel like it was so much longer ago.
It does seem that way. Like, it's been like over 10 years since Mick Foley has had a match. So, let's keep that trend going. Alright. And if you're all going to have your last match, just don't do it with Ric Flair.
Maybe he means like like Rock'em Sock'em Robots or something.
I would absolutely love that. They did that in WWE, like in the 90s.
They did the Karate Fighters tournament
Yeah.
with the that I still god I had that issue somewhere and I got saved it and I had the brackets too and everything.
Well, that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.